Everybody, it's Casual Boobs coming at you with another video, and today we're going to do Advent Calendar Day 15, and today it's the Tier 8 Polish Heavy Tank, the 50 TP prototype. Do I think this is a good tank? Yes. Do I think you should buy this tank? Yes, if you like heavy tanks. Yeah, and I'll go into further detail now. Basically, I'm going to compare this one to the Defender because it compares really well to the Defender, honestly. The big difference is the 50 TP is just slightly it has a very slightly better behaved gun. It's a little bit faster, and it's a little bit more flexible because it has a little bit better gun depression, but in exchange, the armor is not quite as idiot-proof as the Defender is. That's, if I had to sum it up in 30 seconds, there it is. The big thing here, obviously you can read all this on TanksGG if you want. The things that you noticed, this is wrong. It says 10 degrees of gun depression. You get 8 degrees over the front, and over the side you get 10 degrees, and then in the back you get 4. So it says 10. This is why you can't always just take at face value what's on TanksGG, because this is not necessarily accurate. But even 8 is noticeably better than 6. So this is what I mean when I say that it's a lot more flexible. You can work positions in 50 TP that you couldn't work in a Defender. The gun stats, soft stat wise, are identically terrible, right? So the gun is derpy on the Defender and it's very derpy on the 50 TP, with the exception being that the aim time is, what is that, about 10% better, and the final accuracy is, I don't know, math, 0.38 versus 0.42. So like, you do notice these things. The gun is a little bit well behaved, a little bit better, but like, I would still consider the 50 TP gun to be potato. So you're still going to be brawling with it. It's just kind of like, you know, it's just a little bit more well behaved. And like I said, it's just a tad bit. You get like almost less than 1 more power to weight. So like, it's not a substantially, substantial difference. The ground resistances are literally exactly the same. So it's just like, I don't know. Like you will notice this a little bit, but I wouldn't say, oh yeah, like you're gonna occupy the same positions in a Defender as a 50 TP. Like in a race, they would be pretty freaking close. So hull armor is a little bit better, but this is also misleading because of the weird shape. Like the hull of the Defender is like really well sloped and again kind of idiot proof, but the hull of the 50 TP is more janky and angly. The turret is just straight up not as good. So like, pluses and minuses, I think the tank is really good. If you like brawly heavy tanks, then yeah, you'll definitely like this tank. And this is what I meant about, it's got this weird, like, this must be like where the driver sits, but it's effectively works out to be like a hit me here weak spot. So this is the tank shooting itself. And yeah, it's like if you have something higher tier, like this is all fine. Like this is why when this tank was released, everyone was like losing their minds because they thought it would be, better than a Defender. And in some ways it is, but in some ways it isn't. Like you have this overmatchable strip on the turret. If you can see, if he's looking down, if he's looking up at you at all, then you just overmatch. But if you're looking at flat ground, that's a little tiny strip you can see, and you've still got a lower plate, but you have this big weak spot here with the driver's hatch, and you can't really side scrape with the thing because the shoulders, right, this round bit that the turret sits on flattens out. So like, basically this holds true for most of the Polish heavy tanks. The armor is a little bit janky. It only works if people are stupid or if you are wiggling like a madman and people can't hit these little spots because you keep doing some of this action and the place to hit keeps moving and then they just mess up their shot. So yeah, I think like you have to make use of the gun. It makes you use your brain a little bit more than the Defender does, because the Defender you can kind of just sit and dare somebody to shoot you. So if you like heavy tanks, I think this is a solid bet. If you don't really like heavy tanks, you're still probably not going to like this one. I made the mistake when I first got this thing of just saying, I have a cool turret, I'm going to see what I can do. And like, I remember the first thing that happened to me was a T30 just cheesed my turret. So like, yeah, T30, like that's not good. And then T30 tapping too, like, the armor works sort of, but like depending on what's shooting at you, of course, just like anything else in this game, if you're a low tier, like look at that weak spot. Someone sees you on flat ground at tier 10 or tier 8 or whatever, like it ain't gonna be pretty, right? And I think some of this might actually be a shot trap. So like it bounces here, but then it actually bounces up into the turret. So yeah, so basically it's fairly comparable with the Defender. If you like Defenders, you know, maybe you'll like this one too. Slightly worse. Standard pen kind of lets it down a little bit. How does the premium? I probably should have checked this beforehand. Premium pen on this is 265 on the Defender, as compared to a Prototype's premium penetration, which is 245. So you're definitely gonna notice the premium penetration difference, right? 265 versus 245 is substantial. So I would say that it's a fairly apt comparison, right? So in some ways, in a lot of ways, I think the Defender is better, but where the 50TP picks it up is having a little bit more flexibility in the mobility and the gun depression angles and so on and so forth. So, you know, kind of like a different side of the same coin. I think probably the Defender is still a little bit better because it's just so forgiving with the armor models and so on. But yeah, if you like heavy tanks and you have a bunch of gold burning a hole in your pocket, I'd say, yeah, pick this up. But if you're, you know, holding out for the best deal ever for the best tank, you know, it's fine. It's good. It's fine. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's the review. And thanks, guys. We'll see you on the next one. All right.